Hey guys, welcome to another video. Thanks so much. I really appreciate your time. Please subscribe, comment, and share with your friends so that others can benefit. So, I wanted to cover something which so many people ask, and I will try to answer it honestly. It's about being black in Switzerland. Also, now before I get started, remember I've been here for so long. I've been here longer than I have been in my home country, Kenya. I've lived here longer than I have lived in Kenya. So my experience might be different from somebody who has been here 2 years or 3 years because I think what I experienced 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago when I came here, if I had to write it again, it's not the same experience today. So just bear that in mind because when I'm here, I feel more home than I feel in Kenya. But having said that, I will still be the foreigner here. As soon as I get my face out there, I'll still be the foreigner. It doesn't matter that I've lived here for the most of my life. So, uh, being a black woman here, especially for somebody like me, it sometimes gets a little confusing. Um, I don't know if I've said this before, but I think I have. My ex-husband was a Swiss, so I had a Swiss name. And when I got divorced, it was just, I don't know how to say this, it was just too complicated to change my name back to Kenyan name. There was just too much paperwork involved. So when we got divorced, he asked me if he could keep my Kenyan name because he also took my Kenyan name when we got married. So he asked me if he could keep my Kenyan name, and it was totally okay with me. He'll be stuck with a Kenyan name which nobody can pronounce here. And I also kept his Swiss name. So this is already confusing sometimes if I call in a place and here when you call, the first thing you say is your name. So when I call in a place and I say my name, at the same time I'm saying a Swiss name, but they realize the accent is not a Swiss. So, but that's that. I always say my name, then I go on with whatever I have to say. Then they realize this is a Swiss name, but she's not a Swiss. So that's that. Um, as I've said, I've been here for a very, very long time. So I know my way around here much better than I know my way in Kenya. I know how things work better here than how things work in Kenya. So I will try to explain as we go on. Now, have I had problems because I'm black? Mm, I really don't know. Um, I think I do try to stay positive, and I said to myself long ago, I'm here on my own. My mother is not here, my father is not here, so I cannot just cry about every little thing. So I always try to find a solution when I have a problem. And when I have a problem, I just don't try to think that, oh, this happened because I'm black. No, because I think that's a very negative way of looking at things. So whenever I have a problem, I try to think, what could I have done? And really, I don't think I do stop and think they did this because I'm black. Sure, there are this happens. For example, you may go in a shop and you feel you was not well served, and I've never really thought that they didn't serve me well because I'm black or such things. No, I just do think this is not a professional. He was supposed to serve me better. I didn't go into the shop to beg. I went into the shop to buy or to ask for something. So he should have served me well, but I've never really stopped to think this person didn't serve me well because I'm black. Because I just find that such thoughts really bring you down. And I don't know other places, you know, for example, a black American has the right to say this is black because he's in his home. That's where his ancestors are. But I don't know how to say this. It's like I'm forcing myself on these people. So I also have to, they are tolerating me, so I also have to tolerate them. They, I have to tolerate their shortcomings towards me, just like they have to tolerate my shortcoming towards them. And I find that it really works well for me. So, sure, there have been times when I felt disadvantaged because of my color, and I will explain. And it's funny, really. A long time ago, uh, there was a new shop opening here, and the owner employed me just for a simple reason. I was totally not qualified to work there, but he employed me and he told me very clear without hiding. He told me he's employing me because his son is coming from Africa with his African wife. So he wanted me to be the spokesperson and the friend to the lady when she comes, because he don't know any other African person, and she will be here without friends. So he wanted me to be a friend to the lady when she comes. So I just got that job because I was black. Now, when the lady got here, everything went okay, but I soon realized when there was a problem in the home, the son, the husband to the woman who was the son to my boss, will always come and shout at me in the mornings. Then the wife will come in the afternoon and talk to me about her problems. So I soon realized when they had their fight, he was just bringing the fight to me. The lady was just new here, and like for most of us who come from Africa, immediately you arrive abroad, the family is asking you for money. So this lady was not yet 1 month here, and her family was already asking her for money. So this was what was really bringing a lot of problems between her and her husband. So in the end, my being black helped me get the job, but my being black also helped me get fired because this man just couldn't tolerate me when he had a fight, and I couldn't tolerate it. So one day I don't know, I just got so angry, and when he came to shout, I just said, "Don't shout at me, I'm not your wife," which is a word I use quite a lot. So I just said that, and right there on the spot, I was fired. So I felt he was wrong for firing me like that because, as a rule, they had to give me 3 months' notice so that I could look for another job. So They fired me and I brought him to court and I won. So maybe it was the wrong thing to do because they really did me a favor to employ me there in the first place. But I felt it was very wrong for them to just kick me out like that. So I brought them to court and I won. Another time I really felt was not too long ago. I went in a shop. I entered and I'm not even sure if I said anything or not, but the stupid lady just came to me and said, "I don't think we have anything for you here." I just, oh God, I just felt so offended, really. And then looking back, she could have said it because of three things, which I don't know why. She could have said it because that's a teeny shop. They sell these cheap clothes for teenagers. It's a zero size shop. And I'm a woman. I have woman curves. So when she said they don't have anything for me there, uh, I really felt offended. But I did not know why she said it. Did she say it because I'm black? Did she say it because I'm overweight? I'm not overweight. I'm just a woman. Or why did she say it? So I didn't let it bother me. I just checked because I was looking for presents to take to my cousins in Africa. So it was okay. But such things, if you are sensitive, you might think she said this because I'm black. I don't let such things bother me and I don't care, really. I do think if I have a problem there, then I move to the next place. I don't have to force myself on anyone. So that's that. Um, the real open problem that I do have here is making my hair. The African salons here are just so overpriced and they're few and far between. Uh, Sometimes you might want to make your hair, but they make you wait up to 3 weeks because on the day you want to make your hair, they don't have the time and all that, and they are just expensive. It goes from 200 franc upwards, and that's 200 francs is $200. Please understand, anytime I pronounce francs, it's the same amount plus and minus with the dollar. So 200 francs is about 20,000 shilling. So I can't always justify paying 20,000 shilling to make my hair. But, you know, as you live in a place long enough, you find ways to go around such things. For example, when I want to make my hair, I just find ladies who are not working or who are not working in a salon and they make my hair private. It might be not be as good as when they make it in a salon, but if I can make my hair privately for 30 francs, then it's okay. Then I can tolerate it not being as good as in a salon, or if I can pay 50 francs, which means the same amount a salon will take is enough for me to make my hair 4 times. So those are just things you have to accept. So most of the time I make my hair privately. That's been that's been an open issue since I got here because it's just really expensive. And when I said 200 francs, that was even on the cheaper side. They are really, the ladies who make hair here are really expensive. Now, I think the issue we do have as Africans here is not knowing our space, let's call it space. Almost all the Swiss people is like they draw a circle around them, and that's their space, and they don't want you to invade that space. And such things you only learn with time. A new person will think this or this, but they just need their space. And once you learn to respect that space, it's totally not a problem. For example, when I went, my next door neighbor, when I went to her house, I went because I got invited. And it's the same thing when she came to my place. She came because I invited her. You just, in Kenya, you will see a neighbor just knock by, or or things like, oh, please, today, or things like, oh, the light went out. Could you help me with the misuma? We don't have that here. Here it's have your thing, use it, and that's that. The neighbor don't knock at my place, and I don't knock at his place. That's that. And or for example, if you have a car and a neighbor wanted to use your parking space, they will not come into your house to ask you. They will just write a quick note and drop it down on the letterbox. Or if they needed another kind of favor, they will just write it and drop it in a letterbox. I do find that as Africans, we do have one problem here, and that is noise. Africans are these people, we like to party and be feel alive and all that, and that's a no-no here. Any house you rent here, in the rental contract, you will find a space where they write very clearly from 10 o'clock, noise is not allowed. Then you will find that many Africans don't respect this. Then, when there is a problem, they start complaining. The neighbors don't like me. The neighbors are this, but put shoes on the put yourself on their shoes. You will never hear your neighbor play loud music after 10. You will never, it's just a no-no. So if we don't do it and they don't do it, what make me think I have the right to make noise after 10 o'clock? So some people who does, that's what I called this circle, which people create around them. So some people who do not respect this will think, oh, this neighbor is this, but it's just giving people their space. Another thing we do have problem with here, for example, if I wanted to rent today, my future landlord will ask me where I've been working before or where I've been renting. So if I make an application and I say, I've been here 10 years, but I've never rented, and I'm not ready to say where I was living, then nobody will give me an apartment. Then you will find that most of us black people will come with the racist word. They will say, these people refuse to give me an apartment, they are racist, but where have you been for 10 years? If you, yeah, everyone has to do this. There are some things which everyone do. So why should it not be you? For example, renting, everybody will have to bring the address of their last landlord and how long they've been living there. So if I go to rent an apartment and I say, yeah, I've been here in Switzerland for 10 years, but I was living with this friend, and I can't give you an address, the landlord finds it difficult to give you an apartment. Or sometimes many of us do find it not so easy to find apartments, but you will find that In Switzerland, every apartment you rent, you have to view first before they can give you the apartment. You will find that many people did not view an apartment. Then they will tell you, oh, these people refused to give me an apartment. But I've experienced this. When I moved from Zurich here, I had to let people in to view the apartment. Over 100 people came to view, and they had to sign that they viewed the apartment. So, will the landlord give an apartment to one of these 100 people who viewed, or just nobody coming out of nowhere? And at the same time, you have to understand this is one apartment. There are 100 people who want it. So it's not easy for the landlord. And he did not, if I don't get the apartment, it's not because I'm black. It's just because things didn't work. He just had to take one person from this 100 people. But for people being negative, they will tell you, they didn't give me apartment because I'm black. For example, I have a friend here who was my neighbor. She don't have a job. She has never had a job. She's never had an apartment in her name. So when she was looking for an apartment, she really struggled for a very long time. And she always said to me, oh, these people are racist. They refuse to give me an apartment. And at the same time, she didn't have a job and all that. So you find that, or for me personally, I find that it's such kind of people who do give a bad name. But if you have been here long enough and you know how things work, you look at things differently. Or, for example, I will come to look at this apartment or another apartment, then the landlord, we are not allowed here to take an apartment which costs more than 30% of your income. So you go to check an apartment. Maybe you know that you have extra income from somewhere. So you know that your salary and your extra income can pay the apartment. Then the landlord will say no because they will check your salary and they know that this salary cannot pay this apartment. Because remember, you still have to live, you have to pay your taxes and all. So the landlord will say no because if they check your salary and the price of the apartment, it doesn't make sense. So people who do not know will say that, oh, they refused me apartment because I'm black. But really, as I said, I've just been here so long. I've rented so many different apartments and all that. And I think because I try not to put that word in front of me. I try to think of what could have been done, or what was I missing. I've never tried to do something, it didn't work. Then I think, it didn't work because I'm black. No, life is too short for that. And if I feel everything is working against me because I'm black, then nobody's forcing me to be here. I'm free to live. As I said, it's different when a black American say these people are racist, these people are this. That's their home. But for me, if I keep singing racist, racist, then what am I doing here? I'm free to get out. Nobody cares. So that's that. Another issue we do have really as a black people is, let's say you enter a bus. I have an old video explaining about this, but you will enter a bus, then there is somebody sitting down. It's a four-seater, but it's only one person. Then you just go to sit next to them. This is a no-no. They will just get up and leave you the seat. And oh God, it's really not a nice feeling. But if you go and ask them first before you sit down, is totally okay. They will say, sure. So some people will go not knowing. I did it when I didn't know for sure. You just go sit down next to them and then they get up, leave you the seat, and then people will think, oh, they are racist. But no, this is even Swiss for the Swiss. The first person sitting down, you have to ask them first before you sit down. That's that. Have I had other issues as a black woman here? There was a time a neighbor called the cops for me 2 times. One time because I was mowing the lawn after time meaning after I was supposed to stop for lunch, and another time because she felt I was playing loud music, so they just fined me 40 francs and left. But otherwise, as I have already said, I will always be a black woman. As soon as I get my face out there, I will be a black woman. But living in a small village, I'm just okay. I have a Chinese neighbor who like me so well. I have this neighbor and they just know me because this is a very small place. It's just a 5,000 population. It's really, really small. So more or less everybody knows the other person, and I'm okay really. And thinking about it, I think I'm even okay in the village than I was in the city. If I get out my face, yeah, the foreigner. But have I been mistreated because I'm a foreigner? Absolutely not. And no, no, I don't know any time when I've been mistreated. But as I said, sometimes, like the issue in the shop, she could have meant three things. So I don't know what she meant. Okay, there have been cases, for example, some black ladies have told me, oh, I was in the shop and I realized they were following me behind. I've had a lot of this, and I do think either I'm too stupid or they are being sensitive. I've been here 25 years. So if this was happening, I could have seen it. I've never seen anyone follow me around in the shops thinking I'm going to shoplift. But I've had this from very many ladies saying, I was in the shop, they were following me behind and stuff like that. So I do think either I've been lucky or I'm just too ignorant to notice. I'm in the shop, I look for what I went to look for. And I don't turn around to check if somebody's following me. That's their business if they're doing it. I don't know. As a black woman, I've worked in different places. I've rented different houses. I've been to, I've been everywhere. I've been in just all the places. I've never really had an issue as a black. But like I said, many times you will hear people say, "Ah, this person did this because of this," and most of the time, anyway, you find these complaints. This is now again serious. You find these complaints from, for example, I know a lady who is totally illiterate. She used this word very well. But I feel she feel disadvantaged because she don't really know what's going on, or there are just some simple things she can't do. So she just feel that these people are illiterate. Another pair of people who you hear from this very frequently are newcomers. who will jump and say, oh, these people are racist. Oh, these people are racist. I have lived with these people for 25 years. I've lived in a Swiss family as a family member with my ex-husband. I've lived with a Swiss family as a friend. I never really had any I never really had any issue. I never felt left out because of my skin color and such stuff. Having said that, um, it does not mean that the Swiss are not racist. They just hide it so well. They are so well cultured and well mannered, they will not throw it in your face. Uh, because sometimes I might meet people from Eastern Europe or from the ex Yugoslavia, and I will feel they treated me bad openly. The Swiss may may want to treat you badly, but they hide it so well. So I have to say, I do experience some kind of ignorance, let's call it that way, because I don't like, I really don't like use the word racism. I do experience quite a lot of ignorance, but it's mostly from ex-Yugoslavia and Eastern Europe. From them, you can experience more ignorance than the Swiss people. The Swiss hide it very well, and they just they just have this space around them where they don't let you in, and I find it works really well because it helps me not try to prove anything for anyone. Anyway, guys, that's my experience here as a black woman. And once again, please subscribe, comment, and like if you found this video useful. Again, when I go out there, I will still be a black woman. I will still be a foreigner. But apart from that, this is really my home. I don't do anything differently. How can I say? The same way I would want my, the same way I would want my village to grow in Kenya is the same way I would want a village to grow here in Switzerland. The best I will want for them in Kenya is the same best I will want for them here, because this is this has been my home for as long as. So I'm not trying to say I don't know another home. Kenya will always be my home. But for now, Switzerland is my home. And I just don't follow these small complaints. It doesn't bring me far. I'm very happy here as a black woman, and these people are okay with me, and I'm okay with them as a black woman. And anyone who is not okay with me, the world is big enough. They're free to give me my space, and everybody should get along, because I feel we don't have reasons to be fighting. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Bye bye.